My peoples, my peoples, welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. We talking boxing. Salute to my peoples, Box Center 2.0 on Box Center with Jay Smith. Toy Mafia is just in the building, man. Always showing love. Appreciate you, my brother. Good morning. Yo, it's Thursday. Thursday. And Shakur Stevenson is the main topic of conversation. He the main topic of conversation. Why? Because of the hate that he gets. Is Shakur Stevenson the most hated fighter in boxing? That's the magic question. Franchise. Good morning from Germany, bro. Ooh, Germany in the building. Salute, my G. Bam. So what do you think, fam? Is Shakur Stevenson the most hated fighter in boxing? And why? Why do people dislike Shakur so much? Franchise. Nah, it's Tank. Okay. We could have that conversation. But let's consider Shakur Stevenson and his career, right? The obvious, we could get that out of the way. He's undefeated. But let's look at the accomplishments. He's become champion in multiple divisions. He's unified titles. When we look at the accomplishments, he's only 28 years old. And he's already, champion in that many divisions, and now he's going for another division. So Shakur's about to be a 4-division. Well, if he wins, right? I'm not making any predictions, but if he was to win, he would become a 4-division champion. And he's already on the pound-for-pound list. So when you look at all the accomplishments, when you look at the record, and then here's the most important factor that people dismiss, that you may dismiss about Shakur Stevenson. The fact that people don't want to fight him, bro. Look, you mentioned Tank Davis, right? Well, Tank don't want to fight Shakur, my G. Tank has an expressed interest in wanting to fight Shakur. So one of the reasons he's caught flack is because of that. Fans want to see that fight. So what is really the reason why people hate Shakur so much? And you notice, look, this is how you can tell that a fighter is really, really hated. When fans hold on to one thing for life against them. Like, look at Crawford. Before facing Arrow, oh my God, if Gamboa wobbled him, imagine what Arrow's gonna do to him. And then look when Crawford was going to fight Canelo. Oh, my God, if Gamboa wobbled him, imagine what Canelo's going to do to him. So it was always that logic. That, well, Gamboa did this, so imagine what these guys are going to do. People are not considering, like, how you bringing up Gamboa 10 years, over 10 years after that fight, and 5,000 divisions away from him. That doesn't even make no sense. But people did it anyways, right? So look with Shakur Stevenson. Now, what you're getting is De Los Santos. How many? He's already had multiple fights after De Los Santos. But that's it. Shakur, at some point, he might be 34 years old, undefeated, 5-division champion, and people still gonna be like, nah, because you remember that De Los Santos fight? This next fight is probably gonna be boring too. Because that's the narrative that people want to spread. That's the narrative that they want to hold on to. So when you have a narrative on a fighter, bro, that's a lot of hate. That's a lot of hate, bro. And that's how you see the level where his hate is at, where people still bring up the De Los Santos fight. He does stop this kid who Josh Padley, who fought very good, and then Zepeda, who was supposed to beat him. put the beats on him. But they'll still bring up De Los Santos. Nah, because you remember De Los Santos is probably going to be that type of fight. Huh? Forever you're going to bring up De Los Santos, like forever they brought up Gamboa. Franchise, because Shakur knows his value. Tio's going to make Shakur fight, though. Oh, no, listen. That's a mistaken perception, and I'm going to tell you why. You see how you're saying Tio's going to make him fight? He's not going to have to. Shakur's going to be there to fight. And I'm going to point something out, my peoples. Hit the like button, because I'm about to drop a gem on you. I saw an interview from Zepeda before the fight where he was saying, I know how he fights. I know how he's going to do. We're going to cut off the ring. We're going to put him in the ropes. I'm going to knock him out. So Zepeda went into that fight thinking this guy's going to run. I'm going to chase him around, and eventually I'm going to catch up to him. Well, you saw how that played out. You saw how that played out. So, obviously, Zepeda didn't get what he thought he was going to get in this fight. He got a Shakur Stevenson that was going to stand inside the phone booth with him and trade leather. And gave him the business at point blank range. Made him miss, made him pay. Come on. Franchise, not toe-to-toe, but in skill sets. You say with Zepeda he didn't go toe-to-toe, you didn't watch that fight. If you're telling me he didn't go to toe-to-toe, he was inside the phone booth. Lacing him up. Oh, I don't know if you're talking about Tio versus Shakur. Oh, with Tio. It's gonna be the type of fight that people are not expecting. By the way, salute to everybody tuning in on Box Center 2.0. You're tuning in on Box Center with Jay Smith. Yo, this is another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, man. Y'all gotta tell me, is Shakur Stevenson the most hated fighter in boxing? Franchise says no, it's Tank Davis. Is it Tank Davis? Clarence McLean, Jay Smith, Happy New Year, brother. Salute, my G. Bam. Appreciate you dropping in. Don't duck the question, though. Is Shakur Stevenson the most hated fighter in boxing? Now, Franchise, I want you to consider something, because you said it's Tank Davis, right? Remember when Tank Davis was about to fight Jake Paul? An exhibition? A lot of people were saying, yo, I would do the same thing too. I would do just like Tank. A lot of people were supporting his move to do an exhibition with Jake Paul. So I've seen a lot of love. A lot of love. I don't see that love from Shakur, my brother. Look, he fighting Teofimo Lopez. Tank got more love for getting in the ring with Jake Paul than Shakur's getting for fighting Teofimo Lopez. Tell me I'm lying. GQ. Fight going to be a draw. Watch. Ooh. Damn. You know, that's a possibility. But I'm going to be honest with you. I already know the outcome. I know the outcome. I know what's going to happen. But you got to go on Box Center 2.0 because that's where I'm going to make my official prediction. But I know what's going to happen. Brady. I thought it was Jake the fake Paul. Man, Jake Paul got absolutely crushed. And I try to tell people, y'all didn't want to listen to me. I told you, Anthony Joshua going into that fight, like, yo, this dude's disrespecting me. This dude really believed he could beat me. And I said this before. You know when I knew that fight was going to be real and I knew Jake Paul was going to get hurt? When they first announced the fight, a reporter asked AJ, do you think it's crazy that Jake Paul want to fight you? And, yo, he didn't smile. He just said, "Nah, I don't think it's crazy. He thinks he could beat me. We're gonna find out." That's all he said. No trash talking. No, I'm gonna beat him up, knock him out. None of that. Just said we're gonna find out. And when I saw that, it reminded me of when he was gonna fight Francis Ngannou. That he had that mindset like, this MMA guy is gonna come to boxing and he thinks he could beat me out of MMA, never box. Okay, I'm gonna have to show him what's good. And he absolutely pulverized him. GQ, they're not gonna let Shakur win unless he stops Tio or beat him by about 4 or 5 rounds. I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I don't feel that way. I think they're both gonna be the best versions of themselves, and the better man that night is gonna win. And I don't think it's gonna be controversial. I don't think nobody's gonna get robbed or anything like that. The better fighter is gonna win. Franchise. It's crazy that AJ didn't even hit him with a hard knockout shot. It was a mid-check, straight right now, man. I don't know what you talking. Look, Franchise, I promise you. I don't know if you knew on the channel. I'm Jay Stradamus. I promise you, I'm already 100% sure, 100% sure that that's not the outcome you wanted. AJ gave that man a right-hand shot with every single molecule, vitamin and mineral and weight behind his body, bro. I don't know how you guys come up. Like, somebody actually told me, nah, because he didn't really follow through like that. I'm like, oh my God, yo, that's crazy. That's crazy. Like, that knockout was... Bro, listen, let me explain something to you. Most people do not have the strength to break somebody's jaw in 2 places. Most people don't have that strength. Because when you punch, it's going to break. It's just going to break, right? The average Joe cannot break a jaw in 2 places. For you to have seen the face, the surgery, the plate in 2 places and still say that, bro, come on. That's crazy. I can't believe that you believe that. Mr. Tommy Gunn, big up Jay Smith, the hardest working man in show business. Salute, my brother. Appreciate you dropping in. Franchise. No, I'm not new to your channel, bro. But my opinion, I see him hit others hard. Bro, how have you seen him hit others harder if he never broke nobody's jaw in 2 places? How exactly you see them hit him harder? Tell me, let me ask you a question, Franchise. Who you see that he caused more damage to? Because that broken jaw in 2 places is gonna have Jake Paul, you know, not even able to practice for over 6 months. And then when he finally is able to practice, he may never even be cleared to box again. Jake Paul may never box again. So, Franchise, who exactly did you see him punch harder? Because I want to see what damage he caused to that fighter. Take your time, my G. I'll wait. Donald Berry, he hit old boy with a hard shot. Then it broke every bone in his face. You see? You understand what you saw, my G. We understand what we saw. Did you? All you have to see, look, Franchise, let me put you on real quick. All you have to see in that punch is the pivot in the back foot. Look, I'm going to show you 3 things that'll show you that was everything AJ had behind it. Number 1, the pivot in the right foot. Check out the pivot. Number two, the shoulder. Number three, at the point where the punch lands. Yo, it landed right before the full extension. Because if you land at the end of it, you lose some of that pop. He landed right before the full extension of that punch. Boom! And followed through with it. Bro, that was everything he had. If you say you seen him hit harder, it's just that you don't understand what you're seeing. I'm trying to school you, my guy. I'm trying to teach you. Franchise. But bro, Jake not a seasoned fighter like that. No, he not. I'm not saying that he is. I'm just telling you that he got hit with a devastating blow, bro. Any fighter, anybody who's been closely, even remotely involved in boxing, I promise will tell you this. My God, most fighters will never break a jaw in two places in their whole life. Tank Davis probably never broke a jaw in two places in his whole life. You're not understanding the type of force that it takes for that to happen, my G. Like, only a heavyweight giving you everything, boom, is gonna cause that type of damage. Me and you, the average Joe, is not gonna do that. I give somebody everything. I got everything. Even if it's a sucker punching away everything. Bah! I'll break your jaw, but right there at the point of impact. At the point of impact, I'm breaking it. But the damage AJ caused, bro, we not doing that. We not doing that, bro. Aroma sound. Sometimes a shot that looks hard isn't the one that looks soft, is the one that the power behind it. You hit the nail in the head, man. If you haven't boxed, that's something that you don't understand. It looks. I'll give you an example of a shot that was everything, but it didn't look it if you don't understand what you're watching. Check out Mike Tyson's knockout. Hold on 1 second. My son is calling me. Yeah. We back in the building, my peoples. By the way, good morning. Salute to everybody tuning in. Another episode of Boxing for Breakfast. Y'all already know what it is, man. Franchise, I just looked at the knockout. My bad. I jumped the gun on that one. I eat my words. Or the knockout when Wilder caught Fury. That was a nice one. But look at Mike Tyson versus. Why I say that? Because that knockout, the punch was like this. Let me show you. That punch, Francois Botha was coming in and Mike Tyson timed him perfectly. And the punch was kind of like this. Real short like that. Boom! So since you only saw that little bit of movement like that from Tyson, boom! For a second, it looked like, what? He knocked him out with that. What happened? But then when you see the replay, you realize Mike put his whole body weight behind that joint. Gave both the whole 230 pounds or whatever was weighing behind that punch. But what happened is that when the knockout comes with a punch like this, for example, boom, boom, like a flashy punch, it looks like, oh, he caught him harder. But man, listen, Anthony Joshua has never caused as much damage as he did to Jake Paul. That right there tells you. Franklin, Jake Paul has the strongest knockout punch in boxing. Clifton Dennis, are you saying because of broke jaw it means he hit? It means the hit was the hardest? Oh no, not because of the broken jaw, because of the broken jaw in two places. That's why. Because I understand the type of force that it takes for that to happen. The average Joe, we ain't breaking no jaw in two places, my guy. You could sucker punch a guy. Sucker punch him. He ain't even looking at you. Looking into the horizon like that with the jaw ready to go. And you sucker punch, bang, everything you got. You're going to break the jaw. We're going to break that jaw. Not in two places, fam. Not in two places. We're not doing that, fam. I'm just telling you. It's the type of force, because once you hit that jaw, it breaks. But it's the pressure that it takes for you to break it in the point of impact and on the other side. Bam, bam. We all seen the x-ray. We not doing that. The average Joe is not causing. I put it to you like this. Tank Davis ain't never break nobody jaw in two places. Y'all not understanding that most fighters will never break a jaw in two places? That's some more heavyweight, 240-pounder type of shit. Everybody can't do that. So with that type of devastating force, devastating damage to the jaw, yes, that's one of the hardest punches he ever landed on somebody. And I'm going to tell you why that's one of the hardest punches. Right there. I'm explaining to you. Think about how long the recovery for Jake Paul is going to be after having multiple surgeries on his jaw. Before he's even able to spar, it's going to be over 6 months. Before he's going to be able to spar. And he's suspended indefinitely, by the way. He may never even be able to box. He may never even be cleared to box with that joint. My man's got 2 titanium plates. How much more damage do you need to see to understand what type of punch that was? Like, yo, almost took that man's head off, B. Frank, Jake already announced his next fight. He's sparring already. But the magic question remains. Is Shakur Stevenson the most hated fighter in boxing? Come on. Think about it. We compared, somebody said, well, no, it's Tank Davis. Al Booger in the building, the Hydro Grind, my peoples. Y'all tell me, the Hydro Grind, one of the biggest Shakur Stevenson haters there is. And one of the biggest Tank Davis fans there is. The Hydro Grind, let us know. Is Shakur Stevenson the most hated fighter in boxing? Franchise, you think AJ hit harder than Shavers? I don't know. Both hard punchers. That's a lot of people you could throw in the mix, because how about David Tua? How about David Tua with that Samoan power? Now, we talking about Shakur Stevenson because obviously he's going to fight Teofimo Lopez. And somebody said, no, Tank Davis is more hated than Shakur. Remember, when Tank was gonna fight Jake Paul, when that was gonna happen, it didn't, but it was going to. A lot of people were saying, I would do the same thing like Tank. We would all do the same thing too. We would all fight Jake Paul. He's gonna get the bag. He got a lot of love. But wait a minute. Shakur Stevenson is about to fight Teofimo Lopez. He about to fight Teofimo. So y'all want to explain to me how Tank got more love for an exhibition he was going to do with Jake Paul than Shakur Stevenson is getting for moving up a division and challenging Teofimo Lopez in his debut at 140. Where's the love? Where is it? I'm seeing a lot of hate. I'm not seeing a lot of love, my peoples. What's going on? The Hydro Grind, Ryan, Devin, and Tank are also in the conversation of most hated. The Hydro Grind, out booger, salute. Listen. So Ryan Garcia has been involved in controversy, right? So that gives ammunition to the haters when you're involved in any type of controversy. Devin Haney, his stock is going up after he did what he did to Brian Norman Jr. He getting a lot of love. And you see the love that Tank get. We would all do the same thing too. Okay, I'll get you something right now. We would all do the same thing too, like Tank Davis. Clifton Dennis. Devin is the most hated. Someone cheated him. Came overweight. He got up 4 times and got 0 credit. Hold on, Clifton Dennis. Because remember the outcome was overturned. So he don't have a loss on his record. He got beat up, but he don't got a loss on his record. Right? But you can't erase that beating from our minds. You got to be honest, my G. Having said that, you're not going to take, how much credit are you going to give somebody for getting pummeled? If anything, you see what you're saying about giving 0 credit? I criticize Bill Haney because I felt like he should have stopped that fight. You watching your son get pummeled, battered. Ryan Garcia was dishing out the Swiss, the Dre, and the Apple Beats. John Parham, salute, my brother. As a father, you watch your son get whooped. He could have came out of that fight punch drunk. So I criticize Bill for that. I felt like he should have stopped that fight. And then look, the result would have been overturned anyways. The Hydro Grind. If Devin gives another performance like the last one, he won't be that hated anymore. Same for Shakur. If he gives another Zepeda-style performance, he'll get less hate. That could be the case. Because both of them are coming off of a real good performance. And in both cases, you saw people saying that they were going to lose their last fight. There were people right here on Boxing for Breakfast saying Shakur was going to get knocked out. In fact, I think the Hydro Grind, didn't you tell me he was going to get slapped in the 10th or something like that? Clifton Dennis. Nobody erased the beating in the hard showed against a cheat and got mad, the bad guy. So this is what you have to understand, my brother. This is why Devin Haney caught a lot of flack. How many people in boxing have popped dirty throughout the history? It's happened a lot of times. A lot. We ain't never seen no fighter sue nobody, bro. Be honest. We never seen nobody sue nobody. Oh, you pummeled me, I'ma sue you for battery. Bro, we never seen that. We seen a lot of cheating. We seen a lot of people get exposed. We ain't never seen nobody sue a boxer for battery. So what you have to understand is that Devin Haney caught a lot of flack because of the reaction and the way they handled it afterwards. That was part of it. We never seen that, bro. And I don't know if I don't even know if we'll see it again. We might. But a fighter suing another fighter talking about, you battered me. He caught flack for that. John Parham. Well, rather having serious relationship problems, hopefully it won't be an excuse if he loses. I see Dev will get slapped at 9. In the rematch, you see Dev going to sleep at 9? Oh, you said Dev would get slapped at 9. We saw a different Devin Haney against Brian Norman Jr. And I think we saw that this is where Dev feels comfortable in the welterweight division. My peoples, I'm going to take a quick commercial break, about 45 seconds. Salute to everybody tuning in. I'll be back shortly. We talking boxing, y'all. We talking what we do. My peoples, we back in the building. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast. Y'all know what it is, man. We delivering this healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. Out booger. The way Devin is staying on the outside and keeping his right hand glued to his chin, I don't see Ryan doing much if they rematch. Look, man, the rematch could play out similar to the first fight. Sometimes a fighter just has your number, bro. And I'm not saying that's the case here. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that just yet. But it happens sometimes. I'll make one example. Sugar Shane Mosley, Vernon Forrest. Vernon Forrest beat him. By the way, he's the first guy to beat Mosley. And when he beat him, I felt like, damn, this guy caught him off guard. They had an immediate rematch. And Mosley was the favorite to win the rematch. Yo, Vernon Forrest beat him up even worse. And you know who beat Forrest twice, stopped him the second time around? Mayorga. Mayorga beat the shit out of Forrest. The triangle theory doesn't work in boxing, right? But the point is that Forrest had Mosley's number. It's like there wasn't much he could do with Forrest. If Ryan Garcia has Devin Haney's number, he's going to be landing those big shots. If he really do got his number. Now, at welterweight, Devin Haney is different. Now we talking about Debo Dev. Can Ryan Garcia handle Debo Dev? John Parham. Well, on the lie detector test, Ryan said it was easy work, but not sure if the test was rigged. I mean, that's not something we could really take and say it's legit or it's not legit. Al Booger, yeah, Forrest had his number. I loved it. Telling you, man, for the second fight, I was expecting mostly to just go in on him. You dished out my first L, beat your ass for that. And then he shows up in the rematch. The rematch looked exactly the same, only he put more hands on Mosley. Skipper Clipper in the building, bam. OG, did you make a prediction for Matias versus Smith yet? Haven't made it, but I will be making it tomorrow on Box Center 2.0. So yes, sir, that prediction is on the way. My people, subscribe to Box Center 2.0. Salute to those tuning in over there. Salute to everybody tuning in over here. Happy Thursday, my people. It's Thirsty Thursday. But yes, sir, Jay Stradamus will be on Box Center 2.0 making that prediction tomorrow. Yes, sir. The magic question, Skipper Clipper, don't duck it. Is Shakur Stevenson the most hated fighter in boxing? Somebody said it's Tank Davis. I disagree with that because, when Tank Davis was going to fight Jake Paul, he got a lot of love too. A lot of people were supporting that, was happy about that. Now Shakur Stevenson is going to fight Teofimo Lopez, and he's not getting that same type of love. Why not? I'm trying to figure it out. And people ducking that question. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I know what's going on. Shakur is the most hated fighter in boxing. That's what's going on. Clifton Dennis. I don't think Shakur is hated as much. People just find him boring. You don't understand because think about it. Look at the difference between, let's say, the De Los Santos fight and the Zepeda fight. So you see, Shakur is the most hated because people don't just straight up hate. He also gets a lot of the sneak hate, like what you're doing there, Clifton Dennis. You see, that's the sneak hate. Where you start throwing the boring out there. Wait a minute, but he had a fight with Zepeda inside of the phone booth, trading leather the whole fight. And you still bringing up boring. You're ready to bring up De Los Santos. So that's the point. That shows you the hate. Even when you're trying to act like you're not hate, you hating. You putting the boring narrative out there. There you go. That's part of the hate. You proving the point, my G. Clifton Dennis, no, Shakur, not the most hated. Zay, Clarissa is the most hated boxer. And before that, it was Mayweather. Damn, you brought women's boxing into this? Al Booger. I think Tank has the most loyal and rabid fan base in boxing. Maybe Canelo fan base too. Now, Tank fans is up there for sure. For sure. Tank got the most loyal, defending, bias, angle, point of view changing, goalpost shifting fans that you could ever have. Zay, Shakur is hated because he doesn't come out brawling. I mean, damn, so only fighters that come out brawling could get love? That's crazy. People want every fighter to be concussed, punch drunk. That's what they want to see. Clifton Dennis. How am I hating for saying that most people say sometimes, you wild, bro. You know why you hating? Because it's not most people saying it. It's you. You want to talk for most people when you bring it boring. It's not most people saying it. It's you, bro. Say how you feel about it. That's how haters talk. Haters talk for somebody else. Look, there's a lot of people talking about it. The word boring, you're the only one that found a way to bring it into the mix by attributing it to other people. But it's you bringing it up. That's what's called sneak hate. When you don't want to hate straight up because you don't want to look like a hater, but you a hater, so you bring hating points. That's what you're doing, bro. But I like the way you attribute it to other people. Or other people don't like him because he's boring. But you got to say, talk for yourself, my G. Why you don't like him? What you think about it. Not what other people think. Because I'm going to say how I feel about it. And everybody say how they feel about it. Oh, you want to say how other people feel about it. No, that's actually how you feel about it. And that's why you're bringing it up. That's just the reality, fam. Frank, people love to hate Jake. Truth be told, he's the most underrated and shifty boxer of all time. Oh, yeah, you've been dying to get blocked. Well, now, you've been dying for a 24-hour break. Take that. That's dummy stuff right there. John Pound. Shakur not hated more than Tank, in my opinion. His style just not liked. You say he's not hated more than Tank, but think about this. How come Tank got more love for fighting Jake Paul than Shakur is getting for fighting Teofimo Lopez? Come on now. That's a reasonable question. Remember the whole, we would all do the same thing too. He's going to make a lot of money. A lot of love for Tank Davis when he was going to do an exhibition with Jake Paul. And no love for Shakur Stevenson for moving up a weight class and fighting Teofimo Lopez for his titles. Where's the love? So it's hard for me to even fathom how Tank could be seen as more hated. Well, he could fight whoever he wanted, he get love. And Shakur fighting a top gun right now. And people like, Zay, nobody wants to see 12 rounds of champ backing up, looking for pop shot counterpunch. Zay, again, that's called the hater narrative. Look how you want to talk for other people. Talk for yourself. You know why you talk for other people? Because you see how foolish it sounds if you only speak for yourself. Look, that same paragraph right there, take out nobody and put I and see how it sounds. Try it again. You don't got to talk for everybody else. We grown folks, my peoples. Do that same paragraph, copy paste it, and put I and see how it sounds. So you need backup. For that paragraph to sound good to you, you need backup. You need strength from other people like, we don't want this, we don't like this. Talk for yourself and see how that sounds, my G. Talk for yourself, though, and see how it sounds. Al Booger, the biggest pay-per-view star in history, was boring. Floyd Mayweather, that was the main narrative from the people that didn't like him. He was boring, he run too much, he's only tapping, became the greatest of all time, the most paid of all time. Ain't that something? Undefeated. That's the reality. So the haters are going to spread a narrative and always try to put that narrative out there. But narrative never holds up. It never does. No matter how... Look, there's people who didn't want to accept Canelo as a great fighter. And at one point, that's it. They started to look silly. And that's what happens. When you don't like a fighter and you decide, like, that's it, I'm going to be against this guy no matter what he does, no matter what he accomplished, eventually you start to look silly in the things that you say. Look, there's people that used to say that Shakur Stevenson was a hype job. Some of those people have held on to that tightly. So you know how silly somebody looks to say that this guy's a hype job? Still, after all these accomplishments, all these titles won, still a hype job? You know, it gets to the point where people look silly. Marie, salute, bam. Is Floyd more paid than Canelo? Floyd, come on, come on. Come on, Marie. Nobody made more money than Floyd in boxing till this day. Not even close. Duncan Carter, Jay, that was a profound statement for the whole internet that needs to be repeated daily like a mantra. I be trying to tell them, bro. I be trying to tell them. We're not here for the fake narrative. We're not here to make stuff up out of thin air. We're calling it how we see it. And we watching closely. Zay, Mayweather ran, but he made it look good and eventually broke you down. Oh my God. But he made it look good. You see how you inject your opinion so it could be where you want it to be? Guess what? Nobody ever said that back then. People didn't say, oh my God, he's boring, but he looks good. Nobody said that. You're saying that now. You know what they said back then? He's boring. He's putting me to sleep. He's only pity-patting. He don't do nothing. That's what they were saying. Everything that you would say about Shakur today is what they were saying about Floyd back then. Isn't that an interesting coincidence? Isn't it also an interesting coincidence that Shakur is the best defensive fighter, the hardest to get hit in the game, the one who never been even hurt ever? And isn't it an interesting coincidence that Floyd Mayweather was also the best defensive fighter in the game when he fought? So the similarities that people want to ignore are right there and easy to see. Al Booger, Floyd made over $1 billion boxing. Skip a clipper. Floyd fight in a pocket more. Shakur be on a bicycle at times. Nah, Skip a clipper. Floyd jumped on his bicycle a lot too. He bicycled it a lot. And Shakur Stevenson been in the pocket a lot too, just like Floyd. The thing is that when there's a hate narrative on a fighter, people hold on to one fight. You see how with Crawford, over 10 years later, they still saying, if Gamboa hurt him, imagine what Canelo's going to do. This guy fought Gamboa over 10 years before that fight, 1,000 divisions below, and they still bringing it up. Gamboa wobble him. So we seeing the same thing now with Shakur Stevenson. De Los Santos. It was boring, De Los Santos. He already stopped Josh Patley. He already put the beast on William Zepeda. He's going to fight Teofimo Lopez. Yo, 10 years down the line, they still going to be, but De Los Santos, that was boring. He's going to be boring. Because they want to hold on to anything to have a negative narrative on the guy. Simon says, salute, bam. John Parent can be boxing, can be boring, and he did numbers. Very similar style. Simon says, Jake Paul won't find Shakur's chin. Jake Paul? Jake Paul, what are you talking about? Jake Paul and Shakur? Okay, hold on. Take a 24-hour break, man. Tomorrow come back and try to connect the dots better. John Parent. Jake will land on Shakur. Like, why are we talking about what? Like, why are we putting Jake Paul with Shakur again? Like, you need a 24-hour break for that. Clifton Dennis. Some of you hating on Floyd for confirming the narrative on Floyd. That's all I did with Shakur. I guess we haters together. I don't know. I don't even know what that meant, bro. John Pound, crazy work. DeSoto hybrid. Simon started drinking early. I don't know. I don't know if Simon had a vegetable salad this early, but there you go. My peoples, look, I want you to consider this. And I think John Parham, you were on that show when I did the first poll asking people if they wanted Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez to fight each other. You may have been on that show. And when I did that poll, mad people said, nah, Teofimo shouldn't fight Shakur. He should fight Sobriel. Or he should fight this guy. I forgot who else. And I'm like, damn. It showed that people don't want Shakur to fight the big dogs. They don't want Shakur to get those fights. When have we ever seen anybody do that with Tank Davis? When have we ever seen, if anything, we want Tank to get the fights. We want Tank to fight those guys. With Shakur, the hate is so bad, they don't even want him to get the fights. So they could keep saying, he didn't beat nobody. He didn't beat nobody. Which is crazy to say. How do you accomplish so much, get to the pound for pound list without beating nobody? If he beat Teofimo Lopez, he only got one win. He only got one. So how could Shakur not be the most hated fighter in the game when he's this accomplished and he get nothing but criticism? Zay, I would like to see Keyshawn and Roach bang it out. That's a good fight. I like that fight. The Golden Boy, Pretty Boy was knocking everything out. You see, that's the thing. When you say Pretty Boy was knocking everything out, you do realize that within that everything, you count those first 10, 15 wins where he's fighting pizza delivery guys and you know, Taco Bell burrito rollers, Wendy's third shift supervisors. So a lot of those Floyd knockouts came to people who didn't even really have a real boxing career, part-time boxers. If you start counting the knockouts when Floyd started fighting highly rated opponents, it's not that many, bro. It's really not that many. So let's not act like Pretty Boy was knocking out champions and shit. He knocked out. He stopped some champions. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to take it away. But nah. Look, Floyd Mayweather was never a knockout artist. He was getting a lot of TKOs. He was talented. Let the hands fly. Beating you up. If you're getting beat up, pam, the referee's going to stop it. That's what he did. He beat people up. But Floyd Mayweather was never, bang, got him out of there. He got maybe like 2 knockouts like that in his whole career. Knockouts, boom, out, like 2 in his whole career. So let's not act like Floyd Mayweather was a power puncher and shit. At any point in his career, that never happened. John Parham, make sure y'all tap into 2.0 and hit the like button. Salute, my brother. Appreciate it. Damn, on Box Center 2.0, 4 likes, man. Come on, my people. The behind the scene, hit the like button over there. The Golden Door. A lot of those knockouts come against former champions. That's not true. That's not true at all. Listen, I'm going to show you that that's not true. The Golden Door, Floyd Mayweather, has 25 knockouts in 50 fights, right? That's a 50% knockout percentage. Most of his knockouts came on early in his career. How can you even say that? You're making that up out of thin air. Most of Floyd Mayweather's stoppages came early in his career, in the first half, when he was fighting lower level fighters. Most of Floyd fought champions like 20-some. Most of those fights went the distance. De La Hoya went the distance. Sugar Shane Mosley went the distance. Zab Judah went the distance. Manny Pacquiao went the distance. Miguel Cotto went the distance. What is you talking about? Most of those were like, come on, man. Come on, man. You look, take a 24-hour timeout. Come back tomorrow. Do a little bit of research and come back tomorrow with something a little bit better. Skipper Clipper, not sleeping on Tio at all. But you can see Styles make fights. This is something that shows you the greatness of Shakur Stevenson. I'm going to show you right now. Take this into consideration, my peoples. When Devin Haney moved up to fight Brian Norman Jr., he was the underdog. Versus a Brian Norman Jr. who's won one title and is defending it. Shakur Stevenson is moving up to fight Teofimo Lopez, who's a multi-division champion, unified champion, reigning champion, Ring Magazine, lineal, all of that stuff. And Shakur's still the favorite to win this fight. That right there tells you how great of a fighter he is when he moves up to face someone of Teofimo Lopez caliber, and he's still expected to win the fight. Come on, my people. Come on. That tells you, yo, this guy has to be great. Regardless of all the hate, the fake narratives, this guy got to be great. That's the thing. Well, there's fighters, whether you like them or not, that you have to just accept their greatness. If you can't accept their greatness, whether you agree with it or not, you hate him. You hate him. Where's that song at, man? If I had my music, play your hater. Play your hater. Shakur got a lot of them, my peoples. Keep it real. But I'm going to say, the month of January is super interesting because we're going to get 2 fights from that 140 division. And both of them are going to be very interesting. Both of them could go either way, according to fans. Because remember, on Saturday, we're getting Subriel Matias versus Dalton Smith. Come on now. Salute my peoples on Box Center 2.0. Hit that like button, my peoples. I got 4 likes. That is wicked. Brutal. 4 likes on Box Center 2.0. Golly. Skipper Clipper, not sleeping on Tio. Look, this is the boxer, the puncher, is not going to play out the way people think. The whole narrative about, you see how somebody was like, well, you know, people don't like Shakur because they think he's boring. We saw the Zepeda fight. We saw the way that played out. But guess what? They're still going to bring up De Los Santos. Shakur stopped Josh Padley, put the beats on Zepeda. 3 fights ago, he fought De Los Santos, and they still bringing it up. Nah, because he gonna fight the way that he fought De Los Santos. Okay. John Parham, I got Shakur 7-5. Or a possible draw. Ooh. Clifton Dennis, I wanted to debate that point, but you're right. I'm trying to tell you, bro. I'm trying to tell you. You could debate it with me, but you see the way it's going to play out. Rosa, your live is super fire. Ooh, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Anytime somebody who enjoys the sport of boxing says those words, super appreciated. But don't duck the prediction. Don't be the prediction. Who is going to win between Subriel Matias and Dalton Smith, and who's going to win between Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez? Bam! CC Motion, what up, fam? Salute, family. Bam! We in the building. We talking boxing. Don't duck the prediction, my peoples. By the way, Subriel Matias and Dalton Smith is going down on Saturday. This Saturday. And if you never seen Dalton Smith fight, I'm telling you, he ain't no cherry. He not a cherry pick. Don't think that he's out there to get cooked, to get smoked, washed. That's not what he's there for. This guy can fight. This is going to be interesting. John Parham says Matias and Shakur. That's what I like about John Parham, man. He's straight. He's going to tell you what it is. He's not going to beat around the bush and try to be like, no, you know what happened was. Salute to John Parham. Clifton Dennis. Shakur Matias gets stopped. Whoa, you got Subriel Matias getting pummeled? Getting beat up? Damn, my God. Al Booger Shakur in a 9-3, 8-4 performance. Ooh, domination. Shakur's going to put the Swiss, the Dre, and the respective Apple Beats on Teofimo Lopez. That's what you're trying to tell me? Zay, I love the fact that Teo is from Brooklyn, New York, and Shakur is from Newark, New Jersey. You see that? You see what's going on, right? We talking about Brooklyn against Jersey, against Newark. Whoa. Rosa. Straight Sugar Shakur. Ooh, Sugar Shakur is gonna... Hey, you know, it's funny that you say that because I compare this fight to Sugar Ray Leonard versus Roberto Duran. Or Sugar Ray Leonard versus Marvin Hagler. And I've been telling people, like, I'm super excited about this fight. And people hate on Shakur so much that they don't give this fight the attention that it deserves, that it needs, that come on, man. Look at the level of fighters that we're going to see face each other. Neither one of them is even 30 years old. We're going to get the best version of Shakur and of Teofimo Lopez. John Parham, Cliff said a stoppage for Matias. Oh, I thought you said Subriel was getting cooked and stopped. Clifton Dennis, John, I'm predicting that, but honestly, I'm wishing as well because I bet it. Oh, you're trying to get money. You're trying to get that paper. Look, I'm going to tell you like this, Clifton Dennis. Tomorrow on Box Center 2.0, I will be making my prediction as Jake Stradamus. I'm going to tell you who's going to win that fight. So tune in, and then you're going to find out if your money's about to be flipped or if your money's about to be got. One or the other, but I'm going to let you know. And again, the magic question, my peoples, is Shakur Stevenson the most hated fighter in boxing? If he's not, who is? Who do you think? If you don't think Shakur is that guy, who is more hated than Shakur Stevenson? Clifton Dennis, no, my money. Wait. Don't say that. We don't know yet. I'm going to let you know. Tomorrow, I'm going to let you know if your money shall be flippeth or if it shall be taketh away. You'll find out. Arthur Washington, salute, fam. Bam! We in the building. We talking boxing. My peoples, welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get this healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. It's Thursday, y'all. If you having breakfast, enjoy your breakfast. If you're on your way to work, drive slow. We don't want you to crash. And I hope you guys enjoying the show. Man, hit that like button, my peoples. I'm over here cooking this healthy dosage of sweet science over an hour. I don't even got 20 likes. I don't even got 20 likes. Y'all ducking that like button the same way some fighters be ducking. I'm not gonna even name no names. I don't want nobody getting emotional over here. But all I know is that Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez are both gonna be at their best. At their very best when they fight each other. It's not gonna be, forget about the hate narrative. You know, people want to say this fight is going to be boring, and this fight isn't going to be that good, and for Shakur to win, he got to make it a boring fight. Doesn't that sound like what they said when Shakur was going to fight Zepeda? Remember when he was going to fight Zepeda? Shakur's going to have to run. Shakur got the brittle hands. Zepeda's going to beat him. Zepeda's going to knock him out. He's not going to be able to keep him off of him. Oh, he's not going to be able to keep him off of him? And look what happened. Beat him up. Beat Zepeda up. That's what happened. Rosa, we need to give Shakur his flowers. Now stepping up to 140 will beat Teo, and he's no joke. It will be a great fight. What boxing needs again. Rosa, you hit the nail on the head. Bam! That's what I'm talking about. Because think about it. We have two young fighters facing each other. And I told you guys before, the next phase of boxing is going to be decided within the next year. By the end of 2026 or beginning 2027, we're going to know who's the next face of boxing. And here are the names. Here are the people who you got to look out for. Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, Jerome Bruce Ennis, and the Mexican Monster. Those right there could be the next face of boxing. But then again, Tank Davis, if he's going to come back and fight, he's always going to be in the mix. Those are the fighters right there who's going to be fighting for that spot. So Shakur versus Teofimo Lopez, whoever wins that fight is going to be climbing up that ladder. Because these fighters that I mentioned to you, they have the potential, they have the accomplishments, and they have the name to get to the top. Duncan Carter, yeah, that does sound familiar. Clifton Dennis, give us some details like you did with Canelo and Bud. Will it be close? What will happen? Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. The outcome of Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez, I already know it. I know what's going to happen. But I can't tell you right now. I'm going to tell you the outcome on Box Center 2.0 when I make my official prediction, which is coming up. I'm going to make my prediction on fight week, on the Monday of fight week. I'm making my prediction. So subscribe to Box Center 2.0, and I'm going to tell you who's going to win in case you want to flip your money. John Pound, if Teo wins, all hell breaking loose. I mean, if Teo wins, he's on the pound for pound list. My check, my check. We in the building, my peoples. We in the building, my check. Here we go. There you have it, my peoples. Had some technical difficulties, but we handle business. Aye. So, Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez, January 31st. Like I said, on fight week, I'm going to give you guys my prediction. I will tell you who's going to win that fight. And Subriel Matias versus Dalton Smith. That's going down this Saturday. You can expect my prediction on Box Center 2.0 for this Saturday's fight tomorrow. George Jacket. Lopez knows he's going to lose. I mean, he looks pretty confident. Teofimo looks like he feels he's going to win that fight. Clifton Dennis. We all know Shakur will win. Well, Shakur's the favorite. What's interesting about that is when the fight first got signed, a lot of fans were going on the chat here and saying Teofimo gonna knock him out. A lot of people felt comfortable with Teofimo knocking Shakur out. I was like, how the hell are you predicting that? Damn. And I'm not seeing that a lot anymore. There's very few people who see it that way. Duncan Carter. Honestly, they both see something that they think they can exploit. But whoever loses, we still have to keep them up just for making a fight of this magnitude. Okay, I'll bring you some right now. Look, here's what happens in fights like this. As soon as somebody loses, you're going to see a bunch of people saying, oh, he got exposed. He's a hype job. That always happens. But at the end of the day, it's two great young fighters that are going to face each other. Somebody has to lose. That's the name of the game. Luis Pimentel, the war between Mexican Lopez and Puerto Rican Stevenson continues. Let's see who brings it home. Well, we're going to see. Now, I don't think Lopez is Mexican, though. Isn't he Salvadorian? I think he's Salvadorian. The Salvadorian versus the Puerto Rican. Clifton Dennis. My question is, what's going to be the upset of the month? And will Jay Smith predict it? We got Shakur, Andy Keisha, Matias, and the 154 monster. You know I'm going to make those predictions. And I'm going to keep it 100 with y'all, man. I'm going to keep it 100 with y'all. Dalton Smith versus Subriel Matias, that's a tough prediction to make. I know a lot of people just, oh yeah, so we got this, but understanding what Dalton Smith brings to the table, tough prediction to make. Rosa, two great fighters. Teo needs flowers. Two, but I'm going with Shakur because of the pure boxing skills. I think Teo will try early to put pressure on Shakur and will gas out. Than the pure boxer. Listen, I'm going to say this. Teo's best chance, best bet, is to win early rounds to the point where Shakur has to fight a style of fight that he doesn't want to win the later rounds. If Teofimo can, win the first half of the fight on the cards, then he can make Shakur chase him. And he can start relying on counterpunching. And he can do some things that Shakur's not used to seeing. But you have to win early rounds. If Teofimo falls behind on the cards, he's going to be in trouble. He's going to be in trouble. Because now he's going to be, if you find yourself in a position where you're looking for a knockout, you're looking for a one-punch knockout, you cook. Shakur's going to cook you. George Jacket. Are there any more super fights since Bud retired? Bud versus Spence Bob versus Canelo. Where do we go now for super fights? Bivol versus Benavidez. There's some good ones. There's some good ones. Wes Dustin, good morning, my brother. Appreciate you dropping in. I'll give you an example. Shakur Stevenson versus Tank Davis. That's a heck of a fight. Big, big fight. Then you look at the Mexican monster, he can go with Bivol. Look at the Mexican monster, potentially Jai Opataya. You can see the future. George Jack and Shakur will smoke Keys. We'll never see that fight, bro. They say Tio has to come out slugging and put that pressure on early. He has to win early rounds. If he fall behind on the cards, he's cooked. Cooked, I tell you. Clifton Dennis, I agree. Tio needs to be on the counter puncher, and that takes patience. But for Tio to do that, he has to win early rounds to where now Shakur is going to have to chase him. If he can do that and make Shakur uncomfortable, but it's tough. Wes Dustin, Shakur's ability to judge distance will shut Tio down with frustration. And we've seen Tio get frustrated when he's being outboxed. Let's see how he's going to react and what type of pressure he's going to apply. How successful he's going to be with that pressure. John Parent, Tank and Shakur will do big money. It's the biggest fight in boxing. Now that Crawford and Canelo already took place, Tank versus Shakur is the biggest fight in boxing. That's it right there. Clifton Dennis. David Benavidez whoops Opataya. I said before that I don't think Jai Opataya is ready for the Mexican monster just yet. But that's a big fight. When or if it happens, that's a big fight, y'all. That's a super fight. You know what's another super fight? Bam Rodriguez. Now, yeah, you know it. That's a big, big fight, man. That's a big one. You want to hear another one? Jerome Boots Ennis, Sebastian Fundora. Mexico versus the USA. That's a big fight. Even Jerome Boots Ennis versus Virgil Ortiz. If it happens, that's a big fight. They not as accomplished, but still, we know the talent of those two guys, and we know how those predictions have gone both ways. John Parham, Bam too small for Inoue. We're going to get that fight. I don't think so. I think Bam just fights at a lower division, but he's not too small. I'll put it to you like this, John. If you put them side by side, they look about the same size. Inoue doesn't tower above Bam. So he's not really... It's more of a question of the division Bam fighting than him being too small. Wes Dustin, Ennis Fundora is big. I never thought of that one. My God, bro. I talked about that fight. I talked about the best fights at 154, and that's one of them. And I said Jerome Boots Ennis has the best chance to beat Sebastian Fundora at 154. And that fight is inevitable, my G. Because Boots just got to that division. Fundora's not going nowhere. He's in his groove at 154. So it's inevitable that we're going to get Boots and Fundora in the ring together. It's the inevitable, bro. Well, let me not say the inevitable because Fundora is a PBC fighter and Boots is a DAZN fighter, a Matchroom fighter. So, I don't know, politics can get in the way of that fight, but it should happen. You didn't think of it, but I promise you, at one point, Boo's going to grab a title, and you was going to think about it even if I didn't bring it up. You'd be like, damn, look at the champions. Ooh, Fundora and Boots is right there. So, trust me, you was going to think about it. Rosa. But Tio is going to be on early or all night. None of that will work. Shakur has to be great all night. Tio has to be great just a few times in every round. But we will find out greats, two greats of now. I'm gonna say this, man. I expect a competitive fight. I also expect a Shakur Stevenson that people, his haters, don't want to accept he is. And it's a guy who can fight. It's a guy who can beat you in a football field or inside of a phone booth. We've seen him do it both ways a bunch of times. It's just that people cling on to what they want to hate on the kid. One of the best in the game, just like you said. Pit. Who Jake Paul gonna fight next? No clue. We don't know if he's even gonna fight. He's gonna fight his jaw. You gotta take care of that first. Zay. Tail can't out counterpunch Shakur with a defense like his. So I gotta say, man, Teofimo Lopez, we know he has the power to hurt you, and that's what could change a fight. Because it's not just that a fighter hits you and knocks you out. A fighter can also hurt you and disrupt what you do going forward because you messed up. Your legs are not under you the same way. Exhibit A, where Ryan Garcia hurt Devin Haney early in that fight. After he hurt him, Devin Haney wasn't the same. He kept fighting back. He's nice. He's a great fighter. And kept doing his best, but he wasn't himself. And he kept getting hurt. So if Teofimo can hurt Shakur in the early rounds, boom, stagger him, then he can win on the cards. He might not stop him because Shakur has, the skills to not get knocked out. But he could win on the cards if he hurt him early. John Parham, salute my brother. Appreciate it. People, Boxing 2.0 is live right now behind the scenes. Hit that like button, subscribe. Devin, this guy's predicting a Shakur stoppage because Teo gets cut early. Doctor stoppage. That can happen. Teo been cut. Been cut badly too. But what if Shakur just land a monster shot? Boom! And knock Teofimo out. That's not outside possibility, even though people want to believe it is. John Parham, respectfully, we're not talking about Jay. That's what I'm talking about, man. Randomly bringing out Jake Paul, changing conversations over here. Braskarov, Teo in the fight of his career. Shakur too, who wants it more. Braskarov, that's a good way to frame it. Because this is the most important fight for both of them. Period, point blank, right now. Especially because these are guys who are in the race to become the next face of boxing. It's a small group of fighters that could get there. That's two of them right there getting in the ring. And by the way, my peoples, we said it is 2026. Ain't gonna be no ghost watching in 2026. Double tap that screen, my people. Hit that like button. Come on now. Wes Dustin, I saw some combo about Devin versus Keyshawn. Whoa, yesterday. I think Devin ruins Keyshawn. That's a good fight. And look, Keyshawn Davis said after this fight, he's looking to move up to the welterweight division. We could get that. We could get that. Rosa Andre, gotta go to work now. But this the best live. People keep supporting this man. He's full of information on boxing. Rosa, I appreciate you. Salute. And I'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy your work. Enjoy your day at work. You already know what it is, man. Boxing for breakfast, Mondays through Fridays. We on it. John Parham, 147 and 140 is best in boxing right now. Yo, those two divisions. Wait a minute. You can't leave out 154. How you gonna leave out 154 John Parham? You know Jerome Bruce Ennis, Virgil Ortiz, Sebastian Fedora, Keith Thurman, Bakram Murtasaliev. All of those monsters are at 154 too. So it's crazy up there. Clifton Dennis, 47 is weak. I say 40, 54. The Hydro Grind, 40 is intense. Right now, the 140 division with Shakur right there. You got Gary Antoine Russell. You got Teofimo Lopez. You got Subriel Matias, who's fighting on Friday. You have a bunch of hungry lions. Plus, you have some 135-pounders that's going to be moving up soon, too. Miguel Rodriguez, bro. Let's be real. Shakur is not knocking nothing out or down, but probably win by decision. Look, key words, bro. You said that he's probably win by decision. You see how you say probably? That means there's a possibility that he could knock him out. Yes, it's possible. Look, who would have thought that Devin Haney was going to drop Brian Norman Jr.? Nobody would have thought it. Dropped him. Had him in the canvas. Nobody would have thought it, though, right? John Parham. I won't say Devin will smoke keys, but definitely will put belt to ass. Oh, we'll put money on Devin. George Jacket. I don't think we see Tank fight anymore. Tank hasn't announced a retirement. And I'm going to tell you something. I talked to Lori Reed. She's with Tank Davis' team. And, yo, she told me that, nah, you know, I'm not telling you anything official because I don't have official information. But I expect him to fight in 2026, me. I expect him to fight too. At 140. If he's not going to do some type of exhibition, I expect Tank Davis to fight in the 140. Zay, Keyshawn is not ready for a heavyweight class. I'm not sure how you came up with that conclusion. He was not able to make 135. That's why he lost his belt. Fighting at 140, I'm not sure why you feel that way. John Parham, Gary the Dog at 140. Clifton, I can dig that. Clean this clock. Listen, Gary Antoine Russell is a problem. He a problem, my peoples. Unlaced. Salute, my brother. Imagine Gary Antoine Russell with Shakur Stevenson or with Teofimo Lopez or with Subriel Matias. Any one of those fights. John Parham. Tell me your name, the damn Cyclonus. Thoughts on AJ retiring? Honestly, I haven't seen anything official about Anthony Joshua's retirement. I've seen different pages posting rumors and they heard and what happened. Nothing from AJ, his camp, Matchroom, Eddie Hearn. There's absolutely nothing out there to tell me that AJ's retiring. So to me right now, he's going to take a break. Obviously, there's a rehab process for the accident that he went through. And when he's back, physically healthy, he'll fight again. That's what I'm expecting. That'll change if I see AJ say that he's retiring. Until now, he hasn't said that. Shit. Clifton Dennis. Unpopular opinion. I believe Gary is overrated. I don't know how, bro. I don't know how. Gary Antoine Russell, the speed, the counter punching, the body punching, the aggressiveness, everything about him. I feel like he's the best Russell. Look at that. You think he's overrated? I think he's the best Russell. I'm telling you. This guy can fight, bro. John Parham. I don't see AJ boxing again. Let's see. So far, I haven't seen anything to tell me that he's not going to box again. So I expect him to box. Nobody calls out Russell. You're right. Nobody calls him out. Nobody want to fight him. It looks like nobody want to fight him at least. West doesn't Clifton. I disagree. Gary is avoided. People don't want to fight him. Pitt, Terrence Crawford. Who you match him up to be him? Terrence Crawford is retired, fam. I'm not matching a retired fighter with anybody. He done. He retires one of the greatest of all time. Clifton Dennis. When I say overrated, I mean not on that T.O. Tank Shakur Devin level. He on that level, bro. He don't have the star power like those guys. But what we see him doing in the ring, he appears to be on that level. Zay. Search Keyshawn sparring 140 fighters. He's not ready. If he says he's ready, bro. Clifton Dennis. I see that. John Pound. It wasn't supposed to say Thanksgiving. Look, let me tell you something that you have to understand, Zay. Sparring videos, you never know what you're watching. You can't go by sparring videos to say that somebody is or isn't ready. You know why? Let me give you an example. If you look at the sparring video between Devin Haney and Sean Porter, Devin Haney was like 16. And Sean Porter was obviously a grown man. You will say, damn, Devin Haney was giving the business to Sean Porter. But then when you watch the interview, you finally find out that Sean Porter wasn't actually fighting Devin Haney. He was practicing on things. So what Sean Porter was actually doing was just using the jab. Just jabbing and moving and let the young kid work. So if you watch the video, you're like, damn, Devin Haney was handling him. He wasn't. Porter was letting him work. And I can tell you from personal experience, I got to spar a fighter. I sparred with Agapito Sanchez. Google him, my peoples. Agapito Sanchez fought Manny Pacquiao to a draw when Manny Pacquiao was in the prime of his prime. When he was obliterating, beating up opponents, Agapito Sanchez fought him to a draw. And I sparred with Agapito Sanchez in Gleason's gym. And he would let me work. Let me move. Let me do my thing. Just countering to the body. No, he didn't hit me not even one time to the face. But he was catching me with some hard body shots. Pop, pop, here and there. But he let me work. And that's the thing. You can't go by a sparring video to dictate how good somebody really is. Okay. I'll be right there. Ooh, West does it. My brother, appreciate you, man. Send $5 to J Smith gift membership. Yo, salute to the new Box Center members. Bam, in the building. And let me tell you, my peoples, the Box Center members get exclusive content from J Smith. You get videos that only you get to see. I'm also going to be going live for the members only. So salute to everybody who's down with the Box Center member family. Yeah, John Parham, YouTube needs to work on who they give membership. Because I've seen any of those people. Because I've never seen any of those people. Zay, true. And Haney was giving Tank the business at like 16, 17 years old. The lunatic librarian in the house. Salute, my brother. My peoples, I'm going to take a quick commercial break, a little hydration. Good morning to everybody. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast. Y'all know what we doing, man. We talking boxing. Be with you shortly. Stay tuned. Yeah. My peoples, we're back in the building. You know what this is? We talk boxing. I'm Jay Smith. This is another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, man. The magic question this morning has been, is Shakur Stevenson the most hated fighter in boxing? That's a legitimate question. Jay should never be mentioned in professional boxing again after being obliterated. I added that part. Wes does it. Maybe they'll be more active now. This channel is the most slept on in boxing commentary on YouTube. A left to the dome piece, a right to the melon, a left to the wig piece. They don't understand what's going on out here, my brother, but they're going to find out. John Pound. Wes, I definitely agree. I'm always out trying to push the channel when I'm on other platforms. I appreciate you, John Pound. There's a lot of people who joined the Box Center family because they heard it from you. A lot of people on here, so I appreciate you, my G. They're going to find out. It's the inevitable. Wes does it. Devin is the most hated fighter in boxing. Undisputed hatred. I did. So Devin gets a lot of hate. I got to say, he does. But he's not more hated than Shakur. And you know what's the proof? Wes does it. When Devin Haney ducked Shakur, y'all sided with Devin. Ah! Y'all sided with Devin. Shakur should have took the offer. You see? Y'all hating on Shakur like crazy. So you can't say Devin is more hated than Shakur, because when they went head to head, y'all sided with Devin. You see, I be debunking shit on the fly, bro. On the fly, I be debunking shit. You gotta give it to me. That's why I be on that J Diamond shit. That's why I'm the human algorithm. Right there. Boop, 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 boop. Everything goes through, and I'm telling you what just took place right there. They went head to head with each other. You sided with Devin. So who's really more hated, Shakur or Devin? Come on now, my peoples. Let's be honest over here. But ultimately, both of these guys are great fighters. Bro, I was losing my shit listening to Mason Cam pop off about Shakur being boring. Nasty work. But you know that Mason Cam, they don't know shit about boxing. They're going to go with the popular narrative. They're going to go with that. Now I see that they seem to be kind of showing interest. I guess, now that they're content creators, they're, podcasters, they're educated on boxing. I see Cam at the fights. I think I see Mace at fights too. And more knowledgeable about the sport, but they still don't know shit about boxing. John Pound, y'all show some love to Box Center 2.0, my peoples. Come on now, subscribe and hit the like button and comment on Box Center 2.0, which is live right now, the behind the scenes. Still only 4 likes. Golly, diabolicalness. But even with the sneak hating, even with the ghost watching, we're still gonna talk about Suriel Matias and Dalton Smith. 2 days to go. 2 more days we're gonna get this showdown. Most people feel comfortable with Suriel Matias knocking Dalton Smith out. A lot of people saying that. I'm the one telling you, this a good fight. Clifton Dennis, you have 30 likes. Appreciate the 30 people who showed up and said, you know what? I'm going to hit the like button. Jay Smith is cooking this healthy dosage of sweet science, giving us this nice, healthy breakfast. I'm gonna hit this like button. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. Matter of fact, even the ghost watchers, I appreciate you too. At least you tuning in, you goof balls. But this right here, my peoples, I've been telling y'all, Dalton Smith is no cherry pick. I am going to make my prediction for this fight tomorrow on Box Center 2.0, by the way. So make sure you subscribe. Hit the like button on Box Center 2.0, man. You're getting this behind the scenes over there. Slobo, what do you think? Dalton, points? So I'm going to make my prediction tomorrow on Box Center 2.0. Subscribe there if you're not. All I can tell you right now is that a fight is going to break out in round number 1. Subriel Matias is going to try to apply that pressure early on. Dalton Smith is a good counterpuncher. They're going to go at it early. A fight is going to break out. And it will be a very interesting and competitive fight. The lunatic librarian, is Smith the next Paro? Ooh. Tune in to Box Center 2.0 tomorrow. I'm going to tell you who's going to win this fight. But it's a good fight. It's a good one. John Parham. Cliff on 2.0. Only 4 likes. Man, they doing me diabolically. Clifton Dennis. It's 2 predictions I'm hearing about this fight. One 50-50, the other Matias easy win. No, I can guarantee you there's going to be no easy win. That I can guarantee you. This fight is going to be super competitive, and they're both going to have their moments during this showdown. John Parham, I don't see Matias losing. Zeze, most Hispanic fighters always ready to come out slugging. No, look, Matias has that style. But I'm going to say this, something that you guys should consider. Subriel Matias has 1 gear. Go forward, he's going to let the hands fly. But you guys know that he takes a lot of punches. And he's been in multiple fights where the cards were close or he may have been losing before he got the knockout. What happens if he can't knock him out? What happens if Dalton Smith goes the distance with Subriel Matias? Who's going to win the boxing match? Who's going to win on the cards? It's going to be competitive. If we're going the distance, it's going to be competitive, or if we're going a bunch of rounds. The thing about Subriel is that he can be losing a fight, and even when he's losing the rounds, he's breaking you down. He can break down his opponent to stop him late. Clifton Dennis, I thought it would be good, but now I think Matias stops doing it in a war. Not many can beat him at his game. But here's the thing, and I was going to mention this earlier. Subriel Matias got 1 gear. Not so with John, I was going to say not so with John Parham. Damn, John Parham, I got you fighting Subriel Matias. Not so. Damn, man. This dude's name escaped my brain real quick. He can fight from the inside. He can fight from the outside. Very good counter puncher. He has footwork. He has good movement, good lateral movement. Dalton Smith, appreciate it, Shakur has. Dalton Smith has good lateral movement. So, as far as the different ways that he can fight you, he's more versatile than Subriel Matias. That's what you're getting. You're getting the slugger who's going to apply constant pressure, let the hands fly, try to hurt you. And then you're going to get the slugger who can box. Because Dalton Smith loves to fight, but he can box. And if you watch him, you've seen him win both ways. You've seen him slugging it out and beat opponents, and you've seen him moving too. John Power, Matias not ready for this 310-pound of sex appeal. Yo, I'm telling you, you don't want to see Suriel Matias in tip-top shape. Run around you from behind, sucker punch you. By the time you turn around, she already ran around, sucker punched you again. It's going to be a sucker punch slugfest. Clifton Dennis, don't better box because you're not slugging Matias out. I think he can go back and forth between trading leather and moving around them strategically, like Liam Parrow. Liam Parrow beat the crap out of Suriel Matias, but he was very strategic about it. He never stood inside the pocket for too long, because if you do that, you're going to get caught slipping. And you don't want to get hit with those monster shots, because sometimes those big bombs, they don't stop you, but those are the ones that break you down. When you eat a few of those, eventually, that's it, you cooked. Clifton Dennis, what you think about the narrative that UK guys lose against Latinos? I mean, honestly, boxing is a sport where people are gonna have a narrative based on bias because what country I'm from and all of that stuff. But ultimately, in most cases, the better fighter wins, and the better fighter could be from anywhere. The better fighter could be from Asia. The better fighter could be from Europe. Could be from anywhere. Because look at the champions on the world scale. The best in the world, right? Let's just go to the best out, right? You got Inoue from Japan. You got Usyk, Ukraine. You got BFB, Russia. You got Shakur and Teo, yes. So you have fighters from different parts of the world. It's not really about, fighters from this place or better than fighters from that place. It's more about styles make fights. That's all it's about. Styles make fights. No style is the best one. It's who does it the best on that night. We've seen brawlers beat boxers. We've seen boxers beat brawlers. We've seen knockout artists get made to look easy by boxers. And we've seen boxers go to sleep brutally to knockout artists. So it's all about who's fighting the best that night. Zay, that's how Shakur fights strategically. John Parham, Jay, any reason behind Mexicans having the best chance? Is it developed of boxing? Great question. So the best chin there's two aspects to that question. The first one is genetics. Genetics is the first aspect of having a great chin. Why? Having a great chin, and my peoples, you got to hit the like button because I'm about to give you some fire. I'm about to give you some great knowledge right now. Hit that like button. Having a great chin is not actually about the chin oftentimes as people think it is. And I'm going to elaborate on what I mean. Look at Canelo Alvarez. For example, he never been dropped in his life, right? Never been hurt. But look at his neck. Canelo barely got a neck. Canelo don't got no neck. So what happens when you have a shorter neck and you get punched in your head? The whiplash from your head is not the same than when you have a longer neck. So that's genetics. Because no matter what exercise and what I do, I can't control the length of my neck. I either have a long or a short neck. Mexicans tend to have a shorter neck in their frame. because they're shorter, right? That's number one. So that allows you to absorb punches differently when you get hit. I want you to take that into consideration. And then the style of boxing. You know that Mexicans are sluggers, they're going in, right? They develop a style. When you get hit going like this, you got a flashy style and you go like that. And you get hit, boom! Your neck get put on a swivel and you get knocked out. It's not that you didn't have a chin. It's simply the way that you got hit. So a lot of times when people think somebody got a glass jaw, it's not even about the glass jaw. They don't understand what they saw. Take a look at Amir Khan when he got knocked out by Canelo Alvarez. People say he got a glass chin. The guy moved up 2 divisions, fought one of the hardest punches in the game, and got hit with a punch that caught him flush and put his head on a swivel like this. I'm going to tell you, my peoples, that 100 fighters get caught with that shot. 100 fighters go to sleep just like Amir Khan. Ain't nobody taking that shot and surviving it. But there's already a narrative that Amir got a glass chin and that's why he got knocked out. No, he got knocked out because he got hit with a bomb. That's why. So Mexican fighters, number one, they got the genetics to take those shots because they got that shorter neck. And number two, the style of fighting. Mexicans don't got the style of fighting to get hit with those type of shots, to get sleep brutally. They got to get broken down because they coming in like this. Boom, 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 boom. On some Rock'em Sock'em Robot type shit. West does it. Floyd used to mark his neck a lot with that headgear, with the weight on. In wrestling, we're working the neck strength more than anything else. Of course, that neck strength, Floyd used to be on it. And the few times that he ate a monster shot, he was able to absorb it. And let me tell you something about the neck. When I got dropped in my fight, in my professional debut, when I got dropped, guess what? My neck. It was the last round, 10 seconds to go. I'm super tired. My body's not rigid no more to take a shot. Now he hit me and my body was relaxed. So I should push my neck back like that. Boom. And not just it pushed my neck back, it pushed my body back. And I just took like 3 steps back and fell. I couldn't hold myself up. So you don't understand what impact that has when you take a shot. The shot that dropped me earlier in the fight, I took a shot like that when it didn't even hurt me. But this time, boom, my neck went like that and I went down. Shaggy, happy Thursday, my guy. Let's talk boxing. Salute, family. Bam. So, genetics help Mexican fighters, but also their style of boxing. Zay, Mexican have already had best chin and can take a punch. Look when David Picasso was going to fight Naoya Inoue. Everybody was predicting a knockout, even an easy knockout. And I told people, yo, David Picasso is a young, undefeated fighter. How often do you see those getting knocked out? How often? And just like I said, the fight went the distance. I try to tell people, it's tough to knock out a young Mexican fighter. I'm talking about elite level. You know, if it's some average, you're going to knock them out. But the guys that can fight, and Picasso's not a world championship caliber fighter, but he can fight. My peoples. We're about to end this episode of Boxing for Breakfast. I hope that you guys enjoy this Thirsty Thursday edition. Salute to everybody who tuned in. Zay, John Parham, Shakur Hands, Shaggy was in the building. Brascarog was in the building. Slobo was in the hizzy. Clifton Dennis. Come on, man. Appreciate you dropping in, my G. The Lunatic Librarian. The Hydro Grind. The biggest Shakur Stevenson hater. The biggest Tank Davis fan. John Pound was in the building. Zay Al Booger. Wes Dussett. One love to everybody who tuned in, man. Y'all already know what it is. All for the love of boxing. All for the love of the sweet science. Remember, my peoples, this Saturday, we are going to get Subriel Matias versus Dalton Smith. Tomorrow, I will be giving you the Jay Stradamus prediction on this fight. Live on Box 2.0. Salute to everybody who tuned in on Box Center 2.0, man. Salute to everybody who went on the channel just to hit the like button. Just to show Jay Smith love. I appreciate you, man. Let me get the hell out of here. Y'all already know, man. I'll see you tomorrow in the next episode of Boxing for Breakfast. Bam. We out of here.